Hello friends, today we will discuss on the topic soil monitoring. Soil monitoring, in first part of soil monitoring we will discuss soil and their types. What are different types of soil, how the soil is formed, and what are the importance of soil and why we are going to monitor the soil. Myself Dr. Rajni Shrastha, working as Assistant Professor in Environmental Science, Environmental Technology Department, Rajiv Gandhi South Campus, BHU. Friends, soil is the relatively thin surface layer of earth crust. It consists of minerals and organic matter modified by the natural action of the agents like weather, wind, water and organism. And it is the home of vast variety of organisms, mainly microorganisms. Depending on microorganism and other organisms is depend on soil for their shelter, food and water. Terrestrial plants cannot survive without the soil because we depends on the plants for our food. A human could not resist without soil. So in simple term we can say soil is usually referred to as the naturally occurring organic materials found on the earth crust surface. It is composed of the mineral, nutrients, water and other inorganic particles and some residues of plant and animals. You can see here this diagram shows the volumetric content of four principal soil component. Main 45% soil component is covered by minerals, and after this 25% is covered by air and 25% is covered by water respectively. Only 5% of soil is covered by organic matter. There as you know, soil is very important. Soil sampling is important just to guide to farmers decision and also know for determining the initial condition for soil. Soil sampling can be done at surface soil sampling or deep soil sampling. Surface soil sampling is done for some chemical analysis like the phosphorus and zinc fertilization analysis. We can do surface soil sampling. But whenever we go for the water or nitrogen or other nutrient analysis, we have to go deep soil sampling. Soil depth, rooting depth and other inhibiting factors such as extreme pH or salinity is important for deep sampling. This diagram shows different horizons of the soil. Soil is formed from the parent material, that is rock, and this rock is slowly broken down or fragmented into smaller and smaller particles by biological, chemical and physical weathering process in nature. It is not very easy to make a soil. It take a long time, sometimes thousands of years, for a rock to disintegrate into finer and finer mineral particles. For example, to form 2.5 centimeter, approximately 1 inch of topsoil, it may require between 200 to 1000 years for formation of soil. So soil formation is very difficult, but it is very easy to destroy or destruct the soil structure. Now come on the soil types. There are basically 6 soil types exist in literature. First one on the basis of their texture. First one is the clay soil. You can see here this clay soil very smooth in texture. These are heavy, high in nutrient, wet and cold in winter and baked dry in summer. Then second one is the sandy soil. This is the sandy soil like sand. These are light, dry, warm and low in nutrient content and often acidic. Then next is silty soil or silt soil we can say. This is very fertile soil, light but moisture retaining capacity it have and easily compacted. Next is loamy soil or we can say low, are mixture of clay and sand. This is the mixture of this clay as well as sand and silt that avoid the extremes of each type. So this loamy soil is very important for very important for plant, terrestrial plant especially. Then next is the peat soil. Peat soil, you can see here, are very high in organic matter. That's why it looks deep brown in color and it contain moisture. Next is chalky soil. These are very alkaline and may be light or heavy. So these are the 6 different types of soils. According to the Soil Science Society of America SSSA, there are 12 different types of soils. We will discuss one by one different type of soil. First one is the jelly soils. Jelly soils make up about 9% of the world's glacial free land surface. These are soils that are permanently frozen, means contain permafrost or contain evidence of permafrost near the soil surface. Second type of soil is histosols. Histosols are mainly composed of organic material in their upper surface. It make up about 1% of the world's glacier free land surface. The histosols order mostly contains soils commonly called bogs, moors, peatlands, muskes, ferns or peat and mucks. These soils form when organic matter such as leaves, mosses or grasses decompose more slowly than it accumulate due to decrease in microbial activity. That's why in histosols organic matter is greater, because more amount of organic matter it receives but it decompose slowly that organic matter. That's why greater accumulation of organic matter occur in histosols. Then next is spodosols. This is most attractive attractive type of soil. Often have a dark surface underlined by ashy gray layer, which is subsequently underlain by reddish, rusty, coffee colored or black subsoil horizon. These soils form an rainfall interact with acidic vegetation litter such as the needles of conifer. So this spodosols is very attractive because it form in coniferous forest most of the time. The acids dissolve ions, aluminium and organic matter in the topsoil and ashy grey horizons. They tend to be acidic and have low fertility and low clay content. Next is oxysols. Oxysols are soils of tropical and subtropical region. This soil is dominated by iron oxide, quartz and highly weathered clay minerals such as kaolinite. It represents 8% of the glacier free land surface. These oxysoils are typically found on the gently sloping land surfaces of great age that has been stable for a long time. For most part, they are nearly featureless soil without clearly marked layer or horizons. Because they are highly weathered, they have low natural fertility but can be made productive through wise use of fertilizer. Next is vertisols. Vertisols are clay-rich soils. This is the clay-rich soil, and these soils therefore shrinks as they dry and swells when they become wet. Vertisols are located in area where the underlying parental material allow for formation of expensive clay minerals. They occupy only 2% of the glacier free land surface. Next is eridisols. Eridisols are the soils that occur in climates that are too dry for mesophytic plants and plant adapted to either to neither a too wet or too dry environment to survive. So eridisols often contain accumulation of salts. This eridisols, arid soils, eridisols. So arid type of soil come under the eridisols. It accumulate salts, gypsum or carbonates and are found in hot and cold deserts. it occupy 12% of the Earth glacier free land area and including some of the dry valleys of Antarctica. So eridesols is the soil of hot dry climate as well as very cool climate like the dry valleys of Antarctica also. Next is the altisols. Altisols are the soil that have formed in humid areas and are intensely weathered. Most nutrients are held in the upper few centimeter of altisols, and these soils are generally of low fertility, although they can become productive with addition of fertilizer. So altisols represent 8% of the glacier free land surface. uh, Mollisols represent 7% of the glacier free land surface, and these are the soils of prairies or grassland soils, very fertile, very high in fertility, and rich in chemical bases such as calcium and magnesium. Next is Alfisol. Alfisol are similar to Altisol but are less intensively weathered and less acidic. Next is Inceptisols. Inceptisols exhibit a moderate degree of soil development and lack significant clay accumulation in subsoils. This inceptisols represent maximum 17% of the earth glacier free surface. They occur over a wide range of parental materials and climatic condition and thus have a wide range of characteristics. Next is antisols. This is the last order in soil taxonomy and exhibit no soil development or no litter layer. These soils occur in areas of recently deposited sediments, often in places where deposition is faster than the rate of soil development. Means if there is organic matter present, it decomposes faster compared to the accumulation. That's why organic matter is low in antisols. They are common in all environment, and insectisols make up the second largest group of soil after insectisols. It occupy 16% of the earth's surface. These are distribution of different soil types over the world. Different color represent its distribution in different zones, like mollisols represent by this yellow color, then this antisols represent by this gray color, this maroon color is for latisols. So these are the different type of distribution of soil. And the next thing is major soil types of India. Basically there are 6 soil types, like the forest soil. If it occur in the forest area found in this region represented by brown color. Black soil, this present in this center portion of the India. This represent the alluvial soil that present near the Gangetic plain. So most of the soil of near Gangetic plain is alluvial type of soil. Then arid soil, lighter color of soil is this arid soil, laterite soil, and this one is the red or yellow soil. So Indian soil can be alluvial, and it is rich in potash and lime. Very important slide this is, and most of the time questions in net examination come from these slides. Ki which type of minerals are present in alluvial soil, or red soil is significant because of what things. So alluvial soil is rich in potash and lime, whereas it lack nitrogen and phosphorus. And here large variety of rabi as well as kharif crop like wheat, rice and sugar cane, cotton, jute, where cotton jutes are grown in alluvial type of soil. And where this alluvial type of soil, you can see here, mainly found in the plains of Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana, UP, Bihar and Jharkhand. So from here to here there is dominance of alluvial soil. Next is black soil. You can see black soil by grey color in this diagram. This is rich in lime, iron magnesia, alumina, and potash, but lack in phosphorus, nitrogen, and organic matter. And the crop best grown in this type of soil is cotton, sugarcane, jowar, tobacco, wheat, rice, etc. And it is present in Deccan Plateau, Maharashtra, MP, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, and Krishna and Godavari. Then next is the red soil. You can see here red soil in red color, red or a yellow soil. It is rich in iron and potash, but again deficient in nitrogen, phosphorus, and humus. You can see here alluvial soil is lacking. Alluvial soil have lacking of nitrogen and phosphorus. Black soil have lacking of phosphorus and nitrogen as well as some organic matter. Red soil have again red soil is deficient of nitrogen and phosphorus. Laterite soil is again deficit. So most of the time, all type of soil there is lack of nitrogen and phosphorus or potassium. You can see here. And laterite soil, so cashew nuts, tea, coffee, and rubber can grow here. And this laterite soil, you can see here by this color, can found in Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, Assam, and Odisha, here and here. Then arid desert soil. Arid desert soil is rich in soluble salts as well as in phosphorus. Arid desert soil represented by this color and present in western Rajasthan, north Gujarat, and southern Punjab. And last type is the saline soil. The saline soil, as the name suggests, rich in sodium and alkaline, and nitrogen and potassium and magnesium are deficient in this saline soil. Found in western Gujarat, deltas of eastern coast, Sundarban, areas of West Bengal, Punjab, and Haryana. So this is all about your soil types. We will discuss many other things related to soil in next part. How can we sample the soil? How can we analyze soil physical characteristics and chemical characteristics? These things we will discuss in next part. If you really like, so kindly like, share, and subscribe my YouTube channel.